right, street art. Street art starts, well, there was street art going back on in the 80s when Keith Haring was doing stuff, and he really is kind of the movement, the pop movement that leads to street art actually happening. And street art's still happening today. There's a lot of street art out there, so we're going to talk about it. Hey, street art, graffiti. You think of graffiti, you think of street art. Graffiti's been around for a long time. I mean, they were writing on the walls back in the caveman day. Remember when we first started this unit, we talked about the cave walls? Well, people are still writing on the walls today. And now they do a lot more things like stencils and wheat pasting. Well, that's a stencil right there. It's basically when you use, spray paint to put on the wall. And wheat paste is when you just use glue and you glue it up onto the wall. Any way to put the art out on the wall is what street art's all about. For example, this is just a dirty wall because the cars go by all the time. But what they did was they cleaned the wall, but only in certain spots. So the tree's actually where they clean the wall. Reverse graffiti, that's crazy. Some people just paint on the sidewalk with chalk or with paint. This guy made it look like a big crevice. Oh, I'm going to fall in. I'm scared. You can just stick things onto stuff. These are called hitchhikers. Here's another hitchhiker where they stuck some leaves onto a stop sign and made it look like a giant flower. That's crazy. Street art's supposed to be fun and humorous. Look, there's pixelated water coming out of this pipe. Or this has become like some guy smoking a cigarette, but really it's a sewer. That's what street art's all about. Making statements, making comments. This is by Banksy. And this piece here was the plastic bags in the UK. Well, the government wanted to get rid of the plastic bags. And everyone was like, no, we need our plastic bags. And Banksy was like, if you love the plastic bags so much, why don't you say the Pledge of Allegiance to them? And that's where he came up with this idea for this street art piece right here. But he did a lot of stuff where he was just making fun or parodies, like, I must not copy what I see on The Simpsons. And it looks like a little boy, but he kind of looks like he's The Simpsons, like he's copying. You know what I mean? It's crazy stuff. And here's some more humorous stuff, like that sniper's going to take a shot, and he's going to pop that back. Pop. That's funny. I don't think that's funny at all. What? This guy's like, I was just painting the yellow lines down the road, and then I stopped and painted a flower. But even the guy himself who's holding the paint thing is street art. It's a stencil. So, it's crazy. And even Banksy gives credit to Keith Haring for starting the movement by doing this piece right here, where he added the Keith Haring dog to one of his stencils. Now, Shepard Fairey is another street artist. You might remember Shepard Fairey. He did the Hope Obama poster. Well, he started by doing Andre the Giant stickers. And those were kind of like stickers that people put on their skateboards and stuff. But later on, oh, by the way, there's Andre the Giant, that big guy. He was a wrestler. He died. That's sad. Later on, he started just using wheat paste and putting the posters up everywhere. And he put up these Obey Giant posters. And wheat paste is really hard to get off. So it's kind of illegal to go around sticking your posters all over the place. But he thought about it like branding. If you just saw his work over and over and over again. Now, street art does have a lot of humor to it. This makes the lines in the road look like a plug. And this makes the lines in the road look like they added scissors to it, cut here on the dotted line. Haha, really funny. Look, bring, they use balloons. Well, that's a phone. Did you know it's called a pay phone? Back in the day, you used to have to stick a dime in the pay phone, and then you could dial and call people. Well, never mind. You guys got cell phones now. Here's another one. It's a fire hydrant, and there's water coming out of it. It says whoosh. That's like the sound the water would make if it was coming out of it. This is another street artist, Joshua Allen Harris. I might have shown him his work before. He uses plastic bags, and he puts them on the subway grates. And when the air goes by, the dog comes to life, or the bear. And then when the subway goes away, the bear dies. So it's like this constant up and down, fun street art that he made. Here's some more of his pieces. Look how big that piece is. Or maybe it's a really small girl. I don't know. Anyway, street art can do anything but make you scared even. Grandma, hold my hand. I'm scared, right? Now, you can make less illegal street art. Most of it is illegal because you can't just go painting on people's walls without getting in trouble. But this guy right here uses masking tape. And you can just paint on the wall using tape. And then people, come around and take it off. And they probably might not arrest you. But they still might. Street art can be really illegal. So don't try to make any. This is a guy named Andy Uprock. And he writes his name Uprock all over the place. And he calls it cup rocking. He just sticks cups in the fence. This is my favorite piece by Andy Uprock. While you were sleeping. I was sleeping, and he stayed up all night sticking cups in a fence. That's crazy. Hope he didn't get arrested. That's illegal. Now, Color Me Katie, she has a whole different ball game here. She makes her pieces like this, and then she puts them out on the street, and she waits for people to walk by and takes their picture. Here she is cutting out these shadows, and then she's going to tape it to the wall. Then she's going to get a camera and hide behind a car. And just at the right moment when someone walks by, she takes the picture. Snap, snap, there it is. Here's another one she does called Thought Bubbles, where she just tapes them up to the wall, and then when someone walks by, it's like she takes a picture at the right moment. It makes that guy look like he's thinking about cupcakes. That's really cool. Now, this guy was from Raleigh, and he used these barrels from the DOT to create this monster. And then he got arrested because you can't just take barrels from and cut them all up and make monsters out of them. But then later on, the DOT came back and was like, well, you know what? Your art was kind of cool. We'll give you some barrels, and you can make some more art. And then he did, but it wasn't as cool. So it's weird how you can get in trouble for making street art and then not get in trouble for making street art. And then people don't like your art anymore, even though they liked it to begin with. Street art's a weird world. Anyway, if you want to know more about street art, Exit Through the Gift Shop is a movie by Banksy, and you should watch it. But I think it's rated R because it has a curse in it, so make sure you get your parents' permission before you do. All right, that's it for this week's street art.